Troy, one of the things in life that really frustrates me when I look back,
What is that?
the amount of money I've spent on cars.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't say that because like I'm wealthy and I collect them, but early in life, I always, seem to trade cars more frequently than I should have. I got upside down in them, and I had an older man one time tell me, he said, "You will grow out of that." And I was folding bulletins with this older couple that were very frugal, and she explained to me that her husband, and I was shocked, early on in life was the same way. And I was like, really, him? But he's so frugal. And I learned if I can get a car paid for and just keep driving it till it falls apart, that I'm much better off than trying to trade them all the time.
Okay. That's good advice.
But it has to do with the question today, because the question that we were given says, does Romans 13:8 teach that financing a car is a sin? And, just answer it simply, no.
No, it doesn't. In fact, cars are not mentioned in the Bible. So,
But could it apply to financing a car or something else? Certainly. And there's
principle, yes.
yeah, there's a lot of Bible verses we could talk about that actually give us warnings about borrowing and lending money.
That's right.
But this is specifically asked about Romans 13:8. So let's read it. And I really want to back up in context. And so I'm going to actually talk to, let's start verse 5. How about that?
Okay.
Wherefore ye must needs be subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. For this cause pay ye tribute also, for they are God's ministers. Now I'm going to stop there for just a second. They being God's ministers is talking about the powers that be, going back to Romans 13:1-4. And then so he goes on and says, attending continually upon this very thing, render therefore to all their dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor, owe no man anything but to love one another, for he that loveth one another hath fulfilled the law. So in context, what he's actually talking about is our relationship to other people, specifically to those which are in some position of authority.
That's right.
And he's saying, you take care of your responsibilities to them so that it doesn't hinder you when it comes to being a Christian.
That's right.
And this goes back to like verses like, let your yea be yea, your nay be nay, because we don't want to be a hindrance to the name of Christianity.
Exactly. And do all things in the name of Christ. I mean, we need to make sure that what we're doing is reflecting Jesus in our life. This really falls in the realm of prudency, or those questions of wisdom, or questions of judgment. And so you have to kind of take the principle. The Bible doesn't specifically say what we're supposed to do on that, as you just outlined so well. You use words like you got upside down.
Oh, yeah.
And words like being frugal. Well, those are all learned things that happen through principles. And as you mentioned, even in the Old Testament, God was trying to help his people understand these principles. You go to, for example, Exodus 22:25, Leviticus 25, or even Deuteronomy, and in all of those verses, it talks about interest.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was money lending that was going on, but God even specified not to charge interest because he understood some of the things that men would do in regards to that. And so it comes down to a matter of judgment.
Yeah, because everything we do as Christians should be about, one, keeping our word.
Yes.
Two, how we treat other people.
Yes.
And even in this verse, it talks about the idea that for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. How can we treat other people, James chapter 2, the way that we would want to be treated?
Yes, and this all has to do with stewardship as well. We always got to remember that we are to be good stewards of what God's given us. So is it wrong to borrow money? Well, it's a matter of judgment and how you're doing it.
Exactly. And so to the specific question, does Romans 13:8 forbid us from borrowing money for a car? No, but are there biblical principles that we should certainly apply about making sure that we fulfill our commitments, that we are good stewards of what God has given us? Then yes, those biblical principles exist.
Amen.